What is up, members of my collector corps? It is I, Super Mariozilla, or you can call me Vinny, and today we are going to take a look at the S.H.Figuarts Golza. Golza is one of the more popular monsters that Ultraman Tiga has faced, so after Tiga was revealed, it was only natural for Golza to soon follow. And now, he's here. Did Bandai deliver? Or is this another crapshoot like with Ultraman Tiga? I'm pleased to say that this is much better, but I know one-sentence reviews are not enough, so allow me to go into more detail. To let you know if Golza is worthy of that spot on that Ultraman Tiga shelf. Golza here looks great. There are some hiccups, but it's minor compared to the other grades this figure has. And the paint job is banging. Good stuff here. Taking a closer look, you can see all the small details Bandai was able to work in, and the paint really complements the details. The teeth are decent, not bad at all. The eyes are a little off-center though. One side, he looks intimidating, yeah, looks pretty cool, while on the other side, the crackling details are well done. It's on both the front and back, and the silver bumps really help the figure pop on the shelf. Now, I'm not sure if this is on my figure, but some spots of the paint got scuffed out of the box, or it looks like someone missed a spot. Probably only on mine, but I do not know. Paint on the claws and toes are pretty clumpy. They don't look good at all. But honestly, those are really my only complaints besides the eyes. Best looking part? The tail. By far the best looking tail on any Figuarts Ultra monster. It looks exactly like the suit. But at what cost? More on that during the articulation. Overall, I think Golza nails the look. A very nice looking figure for sure.
Golza's articulation is pretty good, actually. It was a lot more movement than even I was expecting. So you can imagine I had a good time taking those photos, which you're not going to see until the end because I take the photos before doing the review, fun fact. So, yeah, but let's just get into it. Mouth can open really wide. Yeah, almost in a goofy way, and it's also on a ball joint. Golza was definitely a monster that did not need a ball joint for a bottom jaw because, well, I don't want him to look like that, even by accident. But still, if you get it just right, he looks pretty good. This part of the head right here is on a ball joint, and the bottom neck area is also on a ball joint. He cannot... Oh, actually he can. He can look left for a pretty good amount, and he can look right also a pretty good amount. Looking up, it's decent. Looking down, yeah, it's also pretty decent. Just be careful. I did believe that there was more range than even I was getting on out of the head, but every time I did that, it would pop off, so do be mindful. Waist is on a ball joint, well, upper torso. And this part of the waist is on a ball joint, and they continued to sculpt for him to... Oops. Well, they continued to sculpt so he could bend really far. So that's a pretty good. And bending backward, also pretty nice. But other than that, he can lean and rotate. So, usual articulation. Arms on a ball joint. Biceps are on a ball joint as well, so you could get your bicep swivel out of them with some extra movement. Elbows on ball joints. He cannot move. Well, actually, he can move just a little bit under 90 degrees. But it's Golza. He doesn't need to go more than 90. Hands are on ball joints, which have really good range. Legs are on ball joints. Pretty nice. Knees, here to here, are on ball joints, so he has a pretty good bend, and can also kick them straight. Pretty good. Feet are on ball joints, so we get excellent feet movement, moving backward, forward, pretty good, and some pretty awesome ankle rocker. Tail. I don't know what the hell they were thinking for this. Okay, so this part is on a ball joint. Standard stuff. What's not standard is the fact that this whole tail is bendy wire, and let me tell you, it is worthless. This bendy wire cannot bend for jack. Oh, it could bend if you really force it, but do you want to, considering that it's a bendy wire? It's so stiff that you can only get it to basically be a little bit flat on the ground or curved upward. That's all you are getting, because if you try to make it look like that he's swirling his tail around to the left or right, you may as well you may as well forget about it, because it's always going to be at an upward angle. You cannot get it to look like that he's moving it flat to the left or the right. It is so stiff, and it's almost worthless, and the fact that I had to keep forcing it in order to get any use out of it, I don't want to move it that much, because what's going to happen, the bendy wire is going to break, and because of the soft rubbery material they used for this, the wire is probably going to poke out. Like, yeah, the tail looks really good. It looks basically suit accurate, so that looks fantastic. But at what cost? Bandai should have just used the typical ball jointed tails, because this is worthless. It looks good, but I want to be able to pose my tails. And I know that Figuarts Ultraman and Monster Arts has completely different design teams, but look at other Figuarts Ultra Monsters like Gamora, and they had the typical ball jointed tails. It makes you wonder what happened here. So, yeah, the tail sucks. Everything else, though, is really good. And also, another thing, the tail is lightweight, so his tail doesn't need to be flat on the ground in order to get him to stand. So, if you're creative with posing, you could get some cool stuff like this. So, articulation for Golza is really good, honestly. Like, if you were looking forward to posing him, let me tell you, you'll have a blast with this.
So, what are Golza's accessories? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Really? Bandai, really? The figure was already cheap. I wouldn't have minded paying the extra $20 to have the ships included. I missed a pre-order on those ships, so that's why I don't have them. Oops. Here's a size comparison with other figures you may or may not have in the collection. Monster Arts or Figuarts Ultra otherwise. I'm only getting into Ultraman, so I don't have a lot of Ultra Kaiju or other Figuarts so far, so bear with me. Golza's size is solid. Not much more to say than that. Here's the thing, despite the one true flaw being the tail, Golza is surprisingly solid. The flaws are minor because Golza's goods really make up for it. It's a good looking figure with little to no issues. I would have really appreciated a beam effect as well, but I guess we'll leave that to customizers for right now. If you're an Ultra fan, get Golza, he's worth it. Unfortunately, he only released in Japan, so getting him will be tricky, but if you can find him for a good price, get him. He makes a nice companion piece for Ultraman Tiga. Still a bad figure. Golza here gets an 8 out of 10, an underrated gem for the Figuarts line for sure.